If you're diagnosed with ADHD later in life, or you suddenly feel like your coping skills stop working in your 40s and 50s, you're not losing your mind. Your hormones are shifting, your dopamine signaling may be changing, your sleep may be worse. The tools you have to survive may not work the same anymore. This is what we're talking about today, okay? We're going to talk about late diagnosis ADHD women, neurodivergent, who and why midlife makes everything feel worse. So for so many women, ADHD was missed for years. Autism too, our neurodivergence. We were called smart but scattered. We were sensitive, too much, anxious, disorganized, overachieving, lazy. Anybody in the room heard those things? Right? And many of us built our lives around masking, around urgency, around pressure, around perfection and adrenaline. Then guess what happens? Midlife hits, boom, like a hammer. And suddenly the old tools that we were using to be able to mask, to hold up the scaffolding don't work anymore. Estrogen is not just a reproductive hormone. It's responsible for 400 processes in the female body. Estrogen affects our brain. It drives dopamine and serotonin and glutamate and GABA, and so does progesterone, right? And brain energy metabolism. Dopamine is especially important here, we know, in ADHD because dopamine is involved in motivation and reward and attention and task initiation, that prefrontal cortex, right? That CEO of our brain. And guess what? There's estrogen receptors there too. So when estrogen fluctuates in perimenopause, which by the way can be happening in our 30s, ladies, dopamine signaling can feel less stable. And that's what's happening. That's why it can be harder for us to mask. It's also why a lot of us with neurodivergence can suffer from PMDD, right? Because there's fluctuations just in the regular portion of our cycle. Okay. That means the same woman, right, who used to compensate and mask on urgency, pressure, perfectionism, adrenaline, all those tools don't work anymore. Okay. It's not that we're lazy. It's not that we're broken. It's that it's a neurochemical scaffolding change. Right. And then guess what? Perimenopause also worsens sleep. And what does sleep do? Sleep is the only time we're in restoration. So it makes everything worse. Poor sleep affects our prefrontal cortex. Again, the CEO of our brain, which is part of the brain that's doing all of those functions that we need to help with from a dopamine perspective, right? In an ADHD neurodivergent perspective. So now add on fluctuating estrogen, one, low sleep, two, more stress, three, higher life demands, four, and maybe some insulin resistance. Boom, right? The brain is working harder. The hormonal and metabolic environment has changed. You haven't changed. This is also why so many women are misdiagnosed with anxiety and depression. They may absolutely have anxiety and depression, but underneath that is untreated neurodivergence, sensory overload, hormone shifts, poor sleep, nervous system burnout. The label matters because the treatment plan changes. I want to say that again. The label matters because the treatment plan changes. If we only treat the mood but ignore the executive functioning, the hormones, the sleep, and the nervous system load, we miss the boat. Okay? We miss the boat. Midlife ADHD is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is a nervous system, hormone, sleep, dopamine, and executive functioning story all happening at the same time. And when we understand the pattern, what can we do? We can build a better plan. Okay, so if this sounds like you, save this video, send it to a woman who keeps saying, I don't know what's happening to me. Okay, and join us on our drsarahinternational.com where we have lots of education and training on the neurodivergent brain, the biology of the neurodivergent brain. Okay, and come back, watch the next video because you won't regret it. Until next time, stay well.